Okay, we are at 11, which is our start time for today's webinar. I'm seeing some more people trickle in just to make sure that everybody, numbers are going up. So just to make sure that we've got everybody here, I'm going to give us maybe 2 minutes before we get started. Today's session is not likely to take the full 30 minutes. So if we get started a couple minutes in, I think that's fine. Grab a glass of water, take a bio break. We'll get started here around 11:02, 11:03. Thanks. Okay, it is 11:02 Central Time, US, and we have about 22 attendees here today. So we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us again for our monthly product release webinar series. This month we'll be covering what was released in July of 2024. We'll also be providing a little bit of a look ahead to August and the remainder of Q3. As a reminder, my name is Benji Orlansky. I'm the head of customer success here at Concord. I'll be walking through the highlights of our product updates today. We also have on the call today Caleb Medell, who's one of our customer success managers who will be demoing a lot of what you're going to see today. Hi, Caleb. We are in the same office. I can see him right there, just with different color backgrounds. But yeah, today we'll be going through a recap of July. Our main hits are going to be on custom document properties, party library for third parties and vendors and suppliers, and AI data extraction. Candidly, some of this may be you may have seen on some other product webinars, some other webinars focused specifically on these features. So it's maybe a refresher for some of you, but hopefully it's good new info for the rest. We'll also do a quick demo of these features, plenty of time for Q&A, and then we'll be going over next month and what we're working on. So I will go ahead and get into it. We can use the Q&A feature to ask any questions you have along the way. And here we go. Let's get started. Okay. Some of you may have heard us talk about this, but here at Concord, we are very much focused on not just the idea of being a CLM, but also the concept of agreement intelligence. And what does that mean? It does happen to share the same initials as AI, but it's not focused on just AI as technology. The concept is, how do we bring your documents to life and deliver value for you as an organization after the signature? It's where we're focused. So of course, you can sign contracts in Concord, you can store your agreements in Concord, but then once that happens, how do we deliver value for you from there? We're tracking your deadlines for you to make sure that you're staying up to date. We're going to help you find documents quickly so you're not digging through a file cabinet or random file folders on your computer, accessing key data, not just financials, not just deadlines, not just renewal dates, but key clauses within your contracts, generating reports so that you can understand efficiency within your organization and insights based on your documents as well. The key here is metadata within your contracts. Every agreement, every contract, every document with the organization holds key information, key data for you to make good decisions as an organization, and ideally to save you money and help drive you towards better decisions. through workflows, insights, and reports. We're here to help you bring your documents to life. So what does Concord's agreement intelligence do? You'll see we're focused a lot on AI specifically, using our artificial intelligence to scan through your documents and bring that metadata. So the first area we're focused on is extracting key terms from contracts automatically. So you see here is an example, and Caleb will go through a live demo of this here shortly, but our technology is taking a look at existing contracts and telling you this is the amount that's going to be paid. Here's the renewal date. Here's a summary of what is listed within the contract so that it's available to you at your fingertips, and you don't need a legal degree to go through and parse every single document to find out exactly what's been committed to and what you signed up for. We'll auto-populate third-party data as well. That will feed into your third-party library as well, so you know who you're working with and who you've made commitments to and you've gotten commitments from, and help you collect analytics from signed agreements. So taking the data that we're gathering, that we're scanning automatically through our system, and feeding that into reporting and information and analytics for you internally. What are the benefits of extracting data with AI, both artificial intelligence and agreement intelligence? Saving time. That's the key piece of this. All of those things I just listed are technically things that a human being could do, but it takes a long time. Got to read through documents, got to make sure you've looked at it correctly. Our technology has been vetted to have over 95% accuracy to make sure that we're gathering this information for you and servicing it quickly and efficiently. Less repetitive data entry. Everybody on this call and everybody you work with is a smart, talented human being whose time and skill set can be deployed to more interesting things than typing the same data over and over again. We are happy to hire a robot to do that for you instead in the form of AI. Reduced human error. Not to say that we're about to fall under the spell of our robot overlords, but these kind of repetitive tasks are better done by a technology that's not going to get distracted or get fat fingers and type in the wrong information. It'll be more consistent with how it enters that data on your behalf, creating greater data consistency across the board, especially when partnered with suggested parties, third parties that we're capturing through the AI as well. It will just create more clean data for you to report and to evaluate going forward. Okay, so we have a few things that Caleb's going to show us on the demo side of things. That was a high-level overview of our approach with problems that we're trying to solve. The three things that we're going to take a look at from a demo perspective today, though, they're all tied to this concept of agreement intelligence. Some of it leverages AI specifically, and some of it is just bringing documents to life. We have custom document properties. The purpose of this is to allow you to have more control and more ownership over the kinds of properties and the kinds of fields that you're able to leverage within your documents as you're creating them, both from a template and a new document perspective, and eventually being able to report on those features as well to bring the information that's relevant to you and important to you as an organization out of your documents in the form of agreement intelligence. From there, we're going to take a look at a party library, again, tracking more formally and in a more organized fashion exactly whom you're working with, who you've got documents shared with, agreements you've committed to, and the parties that have committed to agreements with you. And then lastly, the sizzle on the steak here, the AI data extraction. Basically everything I just talked about, how does that come to life in the form of AI? So Caleb, we'll pass it over to you. I'll keep an eye on the Q&A as questions emerge. There'll be a section for Q&A after the demo, but feel free to ask questions as we go along. So Caleb, over to you.
Awesome. Yeah, happy to start showing a couple of these things off. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen here. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so as Benji alluded to, we're going to be looking at three different things today. We're going to be talking about the new document properties feature, the parties library feature, and the AI extraction feature. And just by way of a little bit of context, so what I'm going to show you today is at least the base foundation that we currently have set up for each of those three features. The biggest push required was just to really get them into the tool to start with. So they're at least there and you can start utilizing them. Now that they're in there, there's a lot of really great stuff stuff we have coming very soon that's going to continue to supplement and just complement the base feature that is there. And I'll be talking a little bit about that as well once I start playing around with these. But we're going to start off with those document properties. So the document properties in the parties library, everybody should now have access to in their account. The AI, you may need to look into some of our newer plans, but we can talk about that down the road if that's of interest. For the document properties, you can now access them at any time by going to the automations area in your Concord system. And you should see it listed right here under properties with the little brackets. So at any time now, if you want to add a new specified type of property to your documents that allows you to add additional types of information, which you can in the future filter for and report on, that's what the document properties are going to allow you to do. They're kind of like a fancy version of a mix of smart fields and custom fields that you can attach pretty quickly once you have them set up. And eventually we're going to allow you to actually even assign certain ones that are required for your documents for a particular piece of information that you need your users to add to documents before they're ready to go. But for now, at least, we have a way to start to put them together and then to add them piecemeal. So while you're looking at this little properties page at any time, you can now click this little button up here, Add Property. You can add in a little name for your property, whatever you want this little piece of information that you're going to track across your documents to be. For example, one of the ones that I've seen that's really common among my customers is they really like having one of their users assigned as a sort of owner to a document, someone who is going to oversee the signing process, but then also oversee the renewal process down the road, and who they can then refer to for any kind of questions about that. So in that case, say I wanted to go ahead and set that up. I'm going to go ahead and set a listing here, a property name for owners, and then I'm going to choose what that property type is going to be. And you see there are a couple options here for short text, number, if you just want to type something in, or I can even set up a single select or a multi-select. The date one is one that I have on my demo, which is coming very soon, the ability to attach a property that is a very specified date. Some of my customers have been using custom fields or what we now call key terms for that. I think this is going to help a lot with that. But for this particular purpose, let's say I'm going to say a single select here, right? And now I'm going to define what I want some of these options to be. So let's just start to put in a couple names here of some of my users, right? Just to indicate that these are some of the people who I think would need to be possibly included as an owner on those documents. All I need to do is set that up there. Go ahead and click Save. Now I have that set up in there. You have a couple because I've done this a couple times. But now, if I go ahead and pop into one of my documents that I just recently created, and I want to add that to it, all I need to do is go ahead and pop out that summary tab for this little goofy test document I have. Scroll down to the properties area right here and click Add Property. Then I just choose that property. And then from the single select, choose what I want that particular data set point to be. So now I've attached this. I have Kate set as this owner. As I noted, in the future, you'll be able to assign things like this, properties like this, as required for documents, so that you'll require your users to put pieces of information like this in. And then in the near future, when we release filter and reporting features, then you can then start to track your different documents or track these data points across your documents. Next up, we're going to look at the parties feature. Oh, before I jump into the next one, feel free to add any kind of questions you have in the Q&A or the chat for my illustrious leader, Benji, to follow up on, or to let me know so I can follow up on if I need to. But we're going to jump into the parties feature and the parties library and show that as well. So now, looking at my summary, previously we had a section that was noted as or determined as with, which has been changed now to parties. So at any time while I'm setting up a contract, I can pop up this little thing, and it will show all of the parties that I have currently in my library, everybody that I've worked with in the past when it comes to a contract. And worked with, I mean third-party vendors to be more specific. But let's say I want to add a new one here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new party. Say I'm working with a new one for this particular contract, a new third party that I haven't before. We'll just say Nestle in this case. All I have to do is type in that particular name, press enter once I'm finished, and it is now added into my party library. Now, if I go ahead and scroll back over to the automations tab where those parties are listed, you can see the parties library listing here. You'll see that it notes all of the parties that I have worked with across my contracts, any of that I have added to those contracts. including a particular notation for my company, which is Acme Corp, just so that I can keep track of that across the contracts when my AI notices that this company is involved in the contract, and I can say, yeah, that's mine. I can also start to join some of them together if I notice that there are duplicates of the particular parties, and I can start to indicate which ones are internal parties if I want to. As I noted, this is just the initial setup for the feature, the foundation for the feature. We want to make it so you can start to set up parties right away and start to assign them to the contracts. The real meat of it that's going to be coming very soon are two really exciting things that I'm looking forward to, especially. One, you'll be able to track how many contracts you have attached to each particular party, and you'll see a number assigned there next to the listing to see how many contracts you have with that particular vendor or third party. Second, you'll be able to see all of the external guest emails that are related to that party and that are involved in those contracts. So that way you can look in, you can poke in and see which of the different people at those third parties you've worked with. You can delete duplicate emails if they happen to be in there, and you can just kind of trim that a bit to make sure that your data is correct in terms of tracking all of those kind of negotiations and just relationships with those parties. Yeah, and you can also filter and probe as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Before we move on, we got a question from Randall. Is there a way to search or sort searches by properties we create? So this is for the previous item, but yeah, across the platform, how can we leverage properties to search or sort?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So as far as the searching, I think it will be available in the universal search at some point soon. I'll need to double check on that one, but I do know that we are going to be adding filters in the inbox and in the reporting area very soon that will allow you to filter for those particular pieces of data, as well as add them and columns into both the inbox and into reports if you want to specifically look for that data point. So I hope that answers your question. Again, I can double check on the search. I think that is going to be involved in our advanced search once we have that second function released, but can confirm that offline for you. Yeah, of course, Randall. We got a question from Laura. Hi, I have a contract that I need to add a statement of works. I don't want to set an attachment, but I want that document as part of the contract. Whenever I import it, it replaces the contract with the statement of works. I want both contract and statement to be signed at the same time. Not sure if this makes sense. It does make sense. Slightly tangential to what we're looking at today, but just by way of a quick answer, when you are dragging and dropping that statement of works into the primary contract, there should be two options depending on where you drop that, thing. It should let you either add it or replace that document depending on where you add it, and it should indicate to you which spot is which. So let us know if you're not seeing that either in support or just by kind of emailing me. Happy to look into that, but you should have the ability to do that just to kind of add it alongside what you already have and then just have it as part of the full document for them to sign. Okay. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the last one, the AI, which I know we've shown off quite a bit just because of how excited we are for it. Along with the other two, something that we are going to continue to bolster with more features. But just to start things off, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a new document to my particular Concord account. It doesn't have to be a new document. The AI will work on all documents you have in there in any stage, but I'm going to add a new one in the signed stage just to kind of show what that specifically looks like. And I have a tech license agreement set up for this specifically. We're going to go ahead and create the document. And as soon as I add it in, you'll now see this little purple loading bar that shows that the AI reading is in progress. And so purple is going to be the color of AI going forward in the platform, just so you're aware. But it really just takes 30 to 60 seconds for the AI to read through the contract, parse the information it sees there, and then start to put the information directly into the summary panel once it has that information ready to go. So it should be just a couple more seconds. We can wait a little bit while it goes ahead and pops that in. Yep, and there we go. So you can see that this is a contract that I have with the Law Boutique Limited. You can see it went ahead and added a party for me specifically in there, just so I can track that as well. It added a bit of a description just to explain what this contract is and what it denotes for each person involved in the contract. And it happened to add life cycle dates here to indicate how long the contract would last, when the renewal period would begin, and what it would look like. So I have all of that data just plugged in, ready to go. It even noted to me that this is an old contract, so it's something we either want to terminate or renew. And it kind of just surfaces that really quickly just to let me know, which is great. So as noted, this is something, well, a couple things to note. The AI is included on all of our newer plans, so it is something you may need to upgrade if you want to go ahead and get access to it, but let us know, me or your CSM, if that's something you're interested in. Second, as I noted with the other two features, this is just the initial base feature for the AI. We have a lot of things coming really soon that will allow it to autofill other particular sections of the summary and add things like really important financial terms and key terms it might find in the document just to surface those as well. And we're going to continue to build on this more and more over the next few months and possibly next few years. Yeah, let us know if that is of any interest to you as well. We're going to continue to make it as powerful as possible, but upgrading to a new plan now will gain you access to all AI features to come in the future. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions around things that are coming. I think I did see one pop into the chat. Okay, yeah, let us know, Laura. We can kind of look into that and see if there's an easy way to set that up for you on your contract. Yeah, but that's going to be it for me. And that's kind of just what we have launched so far and what we have coming for these particular features. Benji, you want to take it away?
I will.
Oh, quick update. The date field was actually released today. So that wasn't just in my demo account. That is something you now have access to in the document properties area. Thank you very much, Dakota, for letting me know.
Okay. I've got a slide here for Q&A because open up the floor for any questions. Obviously, people were asking questions along the way, so I'll pause briefly to see if there are any more questions before we move on. I think we got them out there. All right, in that case, let's move on just to wrap this up. A quick note, if you're here, that means you're interested in what Concord is doing, and hopefully that means you're happy to an extent with your experience with Concord. What will really help us at Concord is to leave a review. Right now, our main focus is to get reviews on Capterra. If you're unfamiliar with Capterra, it is it's an objective review site. Think of it like Consumer Reports, but focus primarily on software. So if you do write us a review with a special link that we'll send out after this, then you will earn $25. It'll be in the form of a gift card directly from Capterra. Doesn't have to be a positive review, although we obviously hope it is. But just for providing your personal feedback, you'll get $25 from Capterra, and that could be, I think, an Amazon or a Visa gift card. You'll get options to choose once you submit. But this makes a big deal for us. It really helps us with our growth as a business, getting more customers onto our platform to continue giving us good feedback. Everything we saw today that we're working on is based on customer feedback, and what we know is important to customers like you. So this will help us continue to create a better product for you and your company. Upcoming events at Concord. We do weekly webinars. Oh, look at that. You can see Caleb's face right here from a different webinar that he did in that same exact room. August 15th, we're going to do a webinar on budgeting with contract data through AI. We are going on August 22nd, forecasting with contract data. And I know we have at least one customer guest speaker for that, talking about how they've used AI to leverage to better forecast using contract data. September 5th, we're going to do another one of these new Concord feature announcements to go over all the exciting stuff we did in August. And you can always go to concord.app/webinars to join or watch previous webinars that we've done in the past. And that is it for today. Let me check. I saw something in the chat. Do we have anything else? Any other questions from our team? Okay, if you see the other functions except the AI function on Concord, does that mean that we have to upgrade for the feature? Jasmine, in all likelihood, yes. Reach out to your customer success manager, whether that's Caleb, Vanessa, or Blake. And for those of you who are for whom Blake is your customer success manager, he will be back on Monday after paternity leave. But if you would like to reach out sooner, you can feel free to reach out to me directly. But reach out to your customer success manager. We'll evaluate your current plan type, and if it requires an upgrade or a transition to one of our new plan types, we're happy to discuss with you what that'll look like. But yes, if you don't see it on your account, it likely means that you probably do need to upgrade. My pleasure. For everybody else, thank you for attending and thank you for providing your feedback. We will be back next month going over the August updates. And you see, of course, our other webinars that we'll be doing in the meantime. And we will talk to you soon. Thank you very much.